Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to another movie review. And this time, um, figure, because with Robert Downey Jr., doing all the recent Marvel films that he's doing, portraying as Iron Man and everything, But because of course recently reviewed the Avengers and now with Captain America: Civil War out. I thought I'd review a comedy I thought Robert Downey Jr. was actually pretty funny in. And this one I'll review is Due Date. Like I said, Due Date stars Robert Downey Jr. From the director of Old School and The Hangover, Todd Phillips, the director. Which I haven't yet seen Old School though, but the first Hangover film I do like though, but the sequels I hated. I hated the Hangover sequels, part 2 and 3. Did not like. But the first one I never minded. And of course, especially with The Hangover, it also stars Zach Galifianakis. Now, well, first I'll get into the thing with Robert Downey Jr. I thought he was pretty funny in the movie. He plays Peter, who's he's trying to go cross country, to get home to his wife who is pregnant, and he goes basically go across country to get home back to Los Angeles to be with his wife. And then you get introduced to Zach Galifianakis' character named Ethan Tremblay. But the thing is though, okay. Now Robert Downey Jr. was pretty funny in the movie. But the thing is though, okay, Zach Galifianakis, I never minded him in the first Hangover movie, and I actually liked his voice role in Puss in Boots, where he voiced Humpty Dumpty, Puss in Boots, and that's pretty much it. I mean, Zach Galifianakis, I mean, and like the comedies like he does, he's like probably doing the same comedy routine over and over. I mean, he's still doing the same thing like in the rest of the Hangover films, but this film, Campaign with Will Ferrell, and etc. But I just first, especially his character in the movie, I did not like. I did not like his character in the movie. I thought he was a complete douchebag because of all the trouble that he's put Robert Downey Jr. Through, all the trouble he's put him through. But that's the answer. I mean, I like Robert Downey Jr., but at the same time, I did not like Zach Galifianakis. I mean, I never minded him the first Hangover, and I liked his voice role in Puss in Boots, but that's pretty much it. I mean, okay, when we first introduced to, Robert Downey Jr. as Peter, he's going to the airport. He's at the airport, and he's on the plane, and he of course, like I say, he has another thing about his character is that his father is dead, and he's carrying his ashes in a coffee can. That's another thing about his character. And then and he's talking with Robert Downey Jr. and as stupid as he is, he keeps telling about terrorists and bomb and getting Peter involved, and this also ultimately leads to that Robert Downey Jr. gets shot by an air marshal and it lands him on the no-fly list. So, and he doesn't have his wallet, and he doesn't have his luggage, but then Ethan, wants him to ride with him to Los Angeles because he also wants to be an actor. He's also an actor. He wants to go there to go to Hollywood, and he has his dog with him named Sonny. So, and then, I mean, I'm just hard to say because I just don't like Zach Galifianakis especially especially his character in the movie. I mean, two film roles I actually did like him in, but the rest of the films I just don't care for. And especially the character in this film, I just hated his character in this movie. Okay, first he wants to buy some buy pot, marijuana, and the woman he's buying it from is actually Juliette Lewis, who's actually from Dusk Till Dawn as the character Kate. Really enough, and he goes to her to buy some marijuana, and actually I believe that's actually the guy that's with her. I believe it's actually the director Todd Phillips that's with her she's talking with Zach Galifianakis in the kitchen. I believe that's the director Todd Phillips. Um, and now, but getting back to Robert Downey Jr.'s character, this is what I thought was actually a pretty funny scene. I got a big chuckle out of this because he's sitting with Julia Lewis's two kids, and her son is bugging Peter, and he keeps on pulling on his tie, and he keeps telling and Peter is telling him to stop it, but he keeps on doing it, and I thought it was kind of funny when he actually goes and sucker punches the kid right in the gut. He's like, ooh, and he's like, oh. He's like, yo, you okay, Bubba? And then he goes, looks at the girl and says, what? And she goes, nothing. And as they're about to leave, he tells the kid, he's like, play cool or I'll thump you again. So I thought that was kind of funny. I mean, Robert Downey Jr. I thought he was very funny in the movie, but it can be said the same for Zach Galifianakis. So, but that scene I thought, where he goes and sucker punches the kid, I thought that was pretty funny. So, but then as they're at the rest stop, and that he learns that he has spent most of his money on marijuana. He's like $60 left over, and he wants to go have his wife, Peter's wife, wire some money to him since he doesn't have wallet, so he has to go wire his money to him. And he goes to go to this place where you see Danny McBride as his employee, and when he asks for ID, because of course Zach Galifianakis, who's being the idiot as he is, he goes and gives him his stage name. His real name is Ethan Chase, but he gives him the stage name Ethan Tremblay. Being the complete idiot as he is. And then Dan McBride, like I mentioned, like the Robert Downey Jr., he says something like, oh, he's probably like a military. Yeah, like he got hurt in the war or whatever, and it turns out the Dan McBride's character is in a wheelchair, and Robert Downey Jr. he shows he's actually also, and he's being the nice guy, good guy, whatever, and he says, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know you were in a wheelchair, and he tries to apologize, and then Dan McBride beats the crap out of Robert Downey Jr. while Zach Galifianakis does nothing to help him. If he does something, Dan McBride hits him too, and because he wants to go to Chili's. And I don't blame Robert Downey Jr. being pissed at Zach Galifianakis, because he's using his stage name, because he's like using a fake name instead of using his real last name. And while they're in the bathroom, and he's like, Zach Galifianakis is like, you okay, buddy? And he's like, don't call me buddy. Robert Downey Jr. is saying, don't call me buddy. Buddies have each other's backs. I don't blame him for being mad at him, because I can tell he wants to strangle this guy, and personally, I do too, because I just couldn't stand his character, Zach Galifianakis. I'm sorry, and then there was another. I thought there was it's another moment where I like that where Robert Downey Jr. he was telling him about the last time when he saw his father before he left him when he was a kid. And as he's finished telling the story, what does Zach Galifianakis do? He goes and laughs. He goes and laughs, or he tells this story about how his father left him, and he goes and says, "Oh, my father wouldn't do that because he loved me." I'm like, dude, I'm just like, you're such a complete douchebag. I just wish Robert Downey Jr. would just go and strangle this guy. Well, we get to the scene right here when they get to the Grand Canyon, and that's what he was trying to do because he wanted to kill him. I wish he had, but we wouldn't have no movie, would we? So, and then you get to the where there's in the car, and then Robert Downey Jr. hears a noise, and it turns out that Zach Galifianakis is masturbating. He's jacking off, and this is how I get to sleep. And the noise is bothering Robert Downey Jr. He's like he's trying to get to sleep, but putting his coat over himself, and then I thought it was kind of fun. I liked Robert Downey Jr.'s reaction. Which I actually thought was funny though, but because he also sees that Ethan's dog is also masturbating as well. But it was Robert Downey Jr.'s reaction that I thought was pretty funny. He's looking at the dog, and he's like, "Your fucking dog's doing it as well." He's putting his jacket over himself. That his reaction I thought was pretty funny, but seeing it, I didn't want to see Zach Galifianakis masturbating. I didn't want to see his dog masturbating either. But then so the next morning he slept outside, and as Ethan goes to the bathroom, he goes and takes all of his stuff, and then he was going to go and leave him there. And I don't blame him. I would have left him there as well. So, but he stops on the freeway because he left the coffee can with Ethan's dad's ashes there. And you get to another funny moment, another funny moment that I like, that he doesn't want to leave the coffee can behind him. He's like, we're here gathered today of the passing of Mr. Can't remember his fucking name, Chase or Tremblay. And he's still talking. He's talking to the can. And he's like, is you got the problem? It's your kid. He's a incredibly difficult person to work with, and I don't know how or why you didn't just strangle him in the fucking crib. that was another line I thought was pretty funny. But being the good man that Peter is, he goes back for him. Shows that he got him coffee and donuts, and then Zach Galifianakis goes and drives. Yawning again. So then another thing about Zach Galifianakis being a dumbass, he goes and falls asleep at the wheel, and there's construction up ahead, and he's on the side of the road, and Robert Downey Jr. is trying to wake him up. He's like, "Hey, wake up! God damn it!" And then they go off this construction ramp, and then you see. Oh, the funny part is just seeing Robert Downey Jr.'s reaction as he screams like, "Ah!" And the car flips over off the freeway and crashes. Okay, that was a good practical stunt where it was an actual car, not a CGI car. So it was an actual car that crashes. That was a good stunt work with the car. and then Zach Galifianakis, he doesn't get injured, but Robert Downey Jr. does. And so it is his dog though. And he's like, and Robert Downey Jr., as he gets out of the hospital, he's like, "Stay away from me." And he's like, "Oh, am I alright? I got a broken arm. I got 3 cracked ribs. I got 7 stitches in my fucking armpit. Look at me. Sonny's all banged up. I'm alright, and you don't have a scratch." He says, "Yeah." So well, the doctor says I was such in a deep sleep, I didn't tense up. And then Peter's like, "Oh yeah, well he says it's not medically advisable to fall asleep while you're driving." And I just don't blame Robert Downey Jr. being so mad at him, because after all this stuff he's putting through, I don't blame him. I would have done the same thing. But and then one of his Jamie Foxx's Robert Downey Jr.'s friend is Jamie Foxx. He's come to pick him up, and it was nice to see Jamie Foxx in it. He's only in it for about, actually not that long. He was like under 5 minutes at most, like maybe 2 minutes at most on screen. But at the same time, it was nice to see Jamie Foxx in the movie. Nice to see him. I thought he was good for the little role that he had. Um, and he wanted, and Robert Downey Jr. wanted to leave Zach Galifianakis, and which again I don't blame him. But he says, I'm not leaving you because you let me on no fly list, or you can't have my ass handed to me by a handicapped hillbilly, or you're almost gonna be killed the most important week of my life. I'm leaving you for a far more fundamental reason. I despise who you are on a cellular level. And he's like, okay, here's a bit of advice: don't go to Hollywood. The streets are not paved with gold. They are filled with the carcasses of fucking imbeciles like you, which he is. I agree, he is an imbecile. And then another funny moment where he goes to the dog, it's like, Sonny, you will be sorely missed, you little bat-faced piece of shit. And he goes and spits on the dog. See, Robert Downey Jr., this is the reason why I like this movie, because of Robert Downey Jr. If it was not for Robert Downey Jr., I would not like this movie, and plus I hate Zach Galifianakis. The stupid smile that he has. This would have been a rant, but Robert Downey Jr. was the big saving grace in this movie, because he was so funny and hilarious, and but it would have been a rant if it wasn't for him, though. But it's not, because I like the movie because Robert Downey Jr. he was hilarious in this movie. So, but as he gets in the car, Jamie Foxx tells him, you can't leave him there, and so he does make a come, but he tells him a couple things, like, one, if you ask me a question, I'm gonna flip out. Two, if you fall asleep for any reason other than you're in a bed and it's nighttime, I will disembowel you. And he tells him about the dog. It's like, you hand me that dog, I will rip it in half. And then as they're driving, they see that there's a drainage ditch coming up, and he's like, "Oh, you want to?" Real hard, Jamie Foxx speeds up and hits the drainage ditch and makes Zach Galifianakis fly up in the back of the truck. And then there's another one, do the same thing, and Zach Galifianakis, he goes and flies up again, bounces. And then they go to Jamie Foxx's house, and then Jamie Foxx gives him coffee, but it turns out that he used what he thought was coffee, but he's actually using Ethan's his dad's ashes as the coffee. And Robert Downey Jr. is telling Jamie Foxx, and another funny reaction from Jamie Foxx. He spits out the coffee and he's like, "Get him the fuck out! The beard, the dog, get him out." Other Jamie Foxx did good for the little role he had. It was funny as well. But so as they leave, they borrow one of his cars, and once again, Zach Galifianakis, being the stupid idiot as he is, he's smoking more marijuana. He gets stoned, and he gets Robert Downey Jr. stoned with him, because all the smoke is blowing into the car, and he doesn't bother to roll down the windows. So he gets stoned with him, and then they go the wrong way, and they go to the Mexican border, and then Zach Galifianakis leaves him while he gets in trouble with the two officers. But then he comes back for him and steals the truck and the trailer with him in it, and then Robert Downey Jr. he's rocking back and forth inside this trailer, is bouncing back off, and he's like, "What the fuck?" That's another funny line. He's looking out the window. He's like, "What the fuck?" And then they lose the two officers, and the hitch on the trailer disconnects, and the whole trailer flips over, and he flies within the trailer, and then gets him out, and Robert Downey Jr. is thinking, it's like, oh, you came back for me though. Yeah, he came back for him, but that doesn't what's the term for it, though, for everything that for everything he's put him through. He put him on a no-fly list. He let him get his butt kicked by Danny McBride, and then not to mention the car flipping over and making him get several injuries, and then making him get stoned, and then let him get in trouble. And then the next thing that happens as they keep on driving, well, that part doesn't happen yet, but they manage to get to they go to get to the Grand Canyon, which Ethan wanted to go, so that he can free throw his dad's ashes through the Grand Canyon. So, and then after he tosses his dad's ashes through the Grand Canyon, can't say the word right again. Once again, I'm mumbling and stuttering my words again. But he tells Robert Downey Jr. that he had his wallet the whole time, and this is where he gets to that scene where he was gonna strangle him because of that. He's like, "I'll fucking kill you," you know. I don't blame him because after all the stuff he's put him through, I don't blame him that he wanted to strangle him. I wanted to strangle him. I just want to jump to the TV screen. I just want to get my hands around him. But then the phone rings, and then his wife tells me that she has gone to labor, and then they drive off. And as they're driving, Ethan goes in the glove compartment and finds a gun, and then shoots Robert Downey Jr. in the leg. and then Peter, he goes, it's like, ah, it burns. So they pull over. Then they try they make him do a quick acting rehearsal, to tend to his injury. Well, I don't know why, but as they keep on driving, they manage to get to the hospital. Finds his wife there, and they're looking at him. They're like, "Geez, Peter, are you okay?" He's like, "No, I lost a little blood," and collapses. And then his wife gives birth, and Ethan helped that out. And he turns out he has a girl. Peter has a girl, and then sometime later, Ethan manages to be a guest star on 2.5 Men. 2.5 Men back when Charlie Sheen was on the show. So. But due date, overall, I do like the film because Robert Downey Jr. Well, that's basically the reason. Robert Downey Jr. If it wasn't for him, this would have been a rant, and I'll just basically the main point because of Zach Galifianakis. I just did not like his character at all. But Robert Downey Jr. I thought he was pretty funny, hilarious. A lot of the lines that he says, even the funny moments, when he punches the kid, or the lines that he says, and it shows that his character is good because he's a nice person, though. But I'm sorry, I just could not stand Zach Galifianakis in this. I just couldn't, because this character, he's an idiot, a dumbass. Basically, that's what he is. And he puts Peter through a lot of crap, and gives him several injuries, broken arm, whatever, and shoots him in the leg, and gets him in trouble a whole bunch of times, and I just could not stand his character. I just could not stand his character. I didn't even care about his dog either. But like I said, Robert on the flip side, Robert Downey Jr. was good and he was funny. And Jamie Foxx, was nice to see him for the little role that he had, for the couple minutes of screen time that he had. But I thought he was good, but he was still good. Um, the film, it's no, I don't think it's not that long. It's only 95 minutes, little over an hour and a half, but it does go at a decent pace, so it wasn't that long. It was it was a short film. The film got negative reviews, sadly though, but it has a 6.6 on IMDb, really enough, but it has a 40% Rotten Tomatoes. But the film was a box office success, made over 200 million worldwide. But Robert Downey Jr. I thought he was pretty was funny. You know, besides doing his big roles in the Marvel films, on the other films that he does, like a comedy film like this, I thought he was pretty funny in the film. I enjoyed his character. You know, and he a lot of times he got mad off Zach Galifianakis. A lot of times I don't blame him, because the times he just wanted to strangle him, and I wish he would have. But the times I wanted to strangle him, I just couldn't stand his character. Every time I see him on screen, I just want to jump through the TV screen and get my hands around him, because Zach Galifianakis, no, not in real life though, because I'm not that kind of person, but the characters he plays in the movies. I mean, he's just playing the same character over and over, but the first Hangover film I can deal with, because I like the first one. The sequels, no. And also his voice role in Puss in Boots. I actually liked his voice in that role. But that's pretty much it, though. So 2 roles, and all the other films he's doing the same comic role he is. Like, such the sequels, and then the campaign, or whatever comic films he has done, I just don't care for. And actually really enough, now that I think about it. I mean, before the Hangover, Zach Galifianakis actually starred in a horror film, really enough, and that was a horror film I actually liked. It was a film called Below, you know, the haunted submarine movie. I forgot he was in that. That was like in 2003. Yeah, I forgot he was in that, and he lived, really enough. So yeah, that's another role I liked him in. He actually starred in a horror film called Below, the haunted submarine movie, from the director of Pitch Black, really enough. I forgot he was in that. And I also remember him that he survived. He lived. I just forgot. I forgot he was in that role. I forgot. But yeah, that's another role I could tolerate him in, because he was not being the comic relief, or whatever. But yeah, but the rest of the comedy films that he does, except for the Hangover and Puss in Boots, that's pretty much it though. But I just could not stand his character in this film. He was a complete dumbass in this movie. But regardless, but Robert Downey Jr. I thought he was hilarious in this film. He was the one saving grace in this movie for me to like this film, because if it wasn't, this would have been a rant. And also, really enough, this was like one last thing. This was like like the 2 guys going across country comedy. There's one. This is one film that did things much better. Just want to quickly point this out. This is a film that did things much better, like going across country. This is definitely a much better comedy. I just want to point that out. I mean, Planes, Trains, Automobiles. That movie's a classic. I love that movie. I love Steve Martin. John Candy, I love. May he rest in peace. I miss John Candy. This is much better. Just want to point that out. But this is I do like, doing the cross country life though. But there's one guy that I liked and the other guy I hated. But with this film, I enjoyed both these guys. I thought they worked well together. But this cat just could not stand him, but I did enjoy him. So, but that's my review for Due Date. If anyone has seen, everyone has seen this film, go and check it out. I mean, if everyone's a fan of Robert Downey Jr., especially if he's doing the Iron Man, playing Iron Man in the Marvel movies, if you like him, we can check. I think you will like him in this movie here. But I mean, if anyone's a fan of Zach Galifianakis, that's your opinion though. But be my guess if you. I mean, there's a lot of people that think that Zach Galifianakis is funny though, but not in this movie for me, in my opinion. But Robert Downey Jr. I enjoyed. So that's my review for Due Date. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned on the next movie review. Later.